Hi, Katie here from Olives and Grapes. Tonight we're going to go ahead and make some chicken wings and also homemade pesto. We're always talking in the store about some of our custom blends that we do, and one of them is our barbecue blend. And typically it's our chipotle olive oil and also a balsamic that we blend together with 3 different flavors. We use our red apple, a little bit of our maple, and then one of our white balsamics, typically the A premium. However, you can try pineapple or mango, one of those. So we're going to go ahead and start with our sauce. First of all, we're going to go ahead and get our chipotle infused olive oil, and we're going to pour that in our bowl. We're going to use our immersion blender like we've talked about in the past. You know, we really feel that emulsifying is the key to getting it into a little bit more of a familiar consistency, one that we're a little bit more apt to use. So, you know, put in enough olive oil just to hit the blades on the bottom of bottom of your immersion blender. And then I've got a red apple, maple, and a little bit of our mango balsamic actually that I'm going to use for our balsamic. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to emulsify that together. Okay, so again, you know, the purpose of emulsifying is to get the olive oil and the balsamic blended together really nicely. Also, it thickens it up a little bit. So when you're brushing it on your, whatever it is you're going to barbecue, or if you're grilling vegetables, or just baking a pork tenderloin or a nice roast beef, you want the balsamic and the olive oil to actually stick to whatever it is that you're putting it on. So we've gone ahead and done that. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some seasonings to this. This is our Tuscany blend, dipping sauce or blend. So I'm just going to add about a palmful of that to the mix. And then also I went ahead and I crushed some garlic, and I emulsified it with a little bit of olive oil. And actually I've got it in the bowl here with my chicken. So I'm just going to scoop that out, and I'm just going to go ahead and kind of stir that in there. You can just go ahead and crush a couple of garlic cloves and add it to this if you'd like. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and take our chicken wings. I buy fresh chicken wings and I leave them whole. You know, when you get them, you just take the little leg, the little wing part here, and kind of twist it around and put it towards the back, and it ends up looking like that. And I'm just going to put them in this bowl, and I'm just going to dip them in the sauce. Now you're going to bake these at 350 degrees, or if you are a griller, obviously you can just throw them out on the grill. Sometimes I like to pre-cook my chicken wings a little bit in the oven, even if I am grilling them. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've dipped the chicken wings in the sauce, just kind of get them really covered up really good. And if you wanted to add a little bit of ground pepper or whatever other seasonings you like, I just like this Tuscany dipping blend. It's got everything in there that you might like. It's got the kosher salt, it's got some oregano, basil, crushed red pepper, black pepper. So it does have everything in there. So actually I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit extra on the top before I put them in the oven. And again, if you're putting them out on the grill, do the same thing. And then of course, if you're grilling, you do have a little bit of extra marinade here, so you can, you know, go ahead and brush that on it when you put it on the grill. And then you're going to put them in the oven, let them cook for about 25 minutes. Check on them, flip them around, put them back in the oven, cook them for about another 20-25 minutes, and they should be good to go. Okay, so while the chicken wings are in the oven, we're going to go ahead and make a really quick pesto. Pesto is great if you're doing any kind of like a pasta salad, if you're doing any kind of pasta that you don't want a red sauce with. It's a little bit lighter, it's packed full of flavor. You use fresh basil, some pine nuts, and a little bit of Parmesan or pecorino, whatever you prefer, cheese, and of course garlic and olive oil. Now also at the store we were talking earlier about some of our blends that we do, some of our specialty blends that we do. This blend is our classic herb blend. It's basil olive oil along with our garlic infused olive oil that we blend together. So we don't mix olive oil and balsamic vinegars together in the same bottle, but we do a lot of custom blending. So you're going to get about, probably about a cup or so, a cup to 2 cups of basil leaves. The fresher the better. And I'm just keeping them pretty whole. I'm just taking the bigger part of the stems off of here, and I'm just packing it in the food processor.
Okay.
So as you can tell, we've got a pretty good amount of basil in there, and it smells so good. Okay, so you're just going to add about probably about a quarter of a cup or so of pine nuts. Now I did toast these a little bit before using them. You don't have to, but I do like to put a little heat to them, so we're going to add that. And we're going to add a couple of cloves of garlic. And again, I'm going to crush this first. Although it's going into the food processor, nothing worse than biting into a kind of a chunk of garlic that's managed to somehow miss the blades. And I'm going to put about 2 or 3 good size cloves in here. I like garlic, so the more the better. Okay, and we're just going to go ahead and you're going to pulse that. And while you're pulsing, we're going to go ahead and add about a half a cup, 2/3 of a cup to a half a cup of olive oil. But really it's a visual thing, so just kind of keep an eye on it while you're pulsing this, and add it as you go to the consistency that you would prefer. Okay, so we've got all the pine nuts, the Parmesan cheese, and the basil in there. I've gone ahead and I pulsed it a little bit first. Now you don't want it to puree it, you want it to be coarse. So I'm just going to give it one more round here. I'm going to add a little more oil to it, not a lot, and that ought to do it. So as you can see, it doesn't take any time at all to make it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this Parmesan cheese and I'm going to sprinkle it in this bowl of the food processor, and I'm going to take a little bit of our herbs. I'm going to use our spaghetti seasoning, and I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of that in there as well, and I'm just going to stir it together. Use a spatula, make sure you get all into all the little crannies of the bowl. And there you go. You've got a really nice, quick and easy pesto. Now we're kind of doing a maybe game day theme, so I would serve this with some crackers. I would put it in a nice pasta salad, just about anything you can, some bruschetta. There you go. Pesto. So let's go check on the chicken wings. We'll see how they're going. Okay, so we've taken the chicken wings out of the oven, and you can see how nice and caramely they are from the balsamic and the olive oil. They look fabulous. Made a really quick dip with just some sour cream, some fresh blue cheese. I added a little bit of the chipotle olive oil in there, as well as some of the Tuscan seasoning mix. Our pesto that we made with some of the Raincoast crisps, and of course pesto. Think about using it with your pastas, your ravioli, your tortellini, your mezzaluna. Also really good if you want to make any kind of pizzas or anything like that. Game day feast. Enjoy.